I was Jack Thompson's fiancé. The day the Thompson family went bankrupt, Jack Thompson was desperately chased by creditors. In the end, I was the one who sent him abroad, lending him $10 million as seed money before he left. Here's $10 million. I'll be here waiting for you to come back and marry me. 5 years later, Jack Thompson became a rising star in the business world and returned to the city as promised. But this time, he wasn't back to marry me, but to call off the engagement. In front of all the media reporters, he held Sophia Miller's hand and made the official announcement. 5 years ago, when my Thompson family declined, we had already broken off the engagement with the AI family. Now, Sarah is my fiancée. I sat in the chair in my office and lit a cigarette. Looking at Sophia Miller, sitting delicately beside Jack Thompson, she was indeed very beautiful, even more tender than in the photos I'd seen on my cell phone. I exhaled a puff of smoke, which filled the air. Sophia Miller coughed involuntarily. Jack Thompson felt sorry for her and fanned away the smoke in front of her. He turned back and frowned at me. There are ladies present, Emily Green. Couldn't you put out your cigarette? After becoming a rising star in the business world, Jack Thompson was less naive than he was 5 years ago. His eyes had become sharp, and his words were edged with a cutting strength. If it had been 5 years ago, he wouldn't have dared to talk to me like that, no matter what. I smoked and drank, and he would just silently stay by my side. Then he'd give me gum to get rid of the smoke smell and cook me a hangover soup to sober me up. Just like the way he was fanning away the smoke for Sophia Miller now. Back then, I was just deceived by his gentle and considerate appearance, shamelessly begging my dad to propose marriage to the Thompson family. Unfortunately, it didn't last long. Not long after we got engaged, the Thompson family suddenly went bankrupt, and Mr. Though Empson, David's father, and Mrs. Thompson, David's mother, died in accidents one after another. Jack Thompson was left homeless, chased by debt collectors every day. I gave him $10 million, escorted him out of the country, and even told a joke that I would always be waiting for him to come back and marry me. Thinking of this, I couldn't help but laugh. Jack Thompson frowned at me. Emily Green, what are you laughing at? Do I need to report to Mr. Thompson what I'm laughing at? He looked at me deeply and, without hesitation, handed me a bank card. This is $100 million. 5 years ago, you lent me $10 million. Now I'm repaying you tenfold. I hope you can keep the secret. I don't want to mention those things from back then again. I chuckled and expressionlessly took the card from the table. One thing is separate from another. $100 million is the money you owe me. Keeping the secret is another price altogether. Seeing me bargain, Jack Thompson seemed relieved. He breathed a sigh of relief and took out another bank card, handing it to me. Here's another $100 million. I hope you keep your promise. After saying that, he seemed to regain his confidence and stood up straight in front of me. The fine strands of hair on his forehead fluttered slightly in the air, just like the day he said goodbye to me 5 years ago. He looked like he hadn't changed at all. He said he would succeed, definitely return to the city, and that he would not let me down. Memories and reality gradually overlapped. Jack Thompson's tenderness mixed with a hint of arrogance and confidence still made my heart flutter even now. Thinking about it, how pathetic. Was I really about to develop a crush? Ms. Green, the amounts in both gift cards are correct. My assistant's voice woke me up. Seeing that I was so distrustful that I even checked the amounts on the bank cards, Jack Thompson couldn't help but look indifferent. Before leaving, he said to me with a solemn expression, "Emily Gr. Ian, a woman should still act like a woman. No one will like you the way you are." He said it very seriously, as if he were thinking of me. But I didn't care. I am who I am, a unique firework in this world. I already knew that Jack Thompson had changed his mind, or rather, he didn't love me at all. The promise to marry me 5 years ago was probably just a decision made in a moment of gratitude. Or maybe it was my 10 million that moved him, and he couldn't find a reason to refuse. So now that he's returned, he can't wait to get rid of me and legitimize his relationship with Sophia Miller. But Jack Thompson didn't know that I had already guessed he would change his mind. In the 5 years he was abroad, I wasn't by his side. Instead, Sophia Miller had been with him all along, encouraging him when he was tired, making him happy when he was sad. Far more than a woman like me who only gave him material support, she moved his heart. Now, they've walked hand in hand through the most difficult times, making me, the one who spent a fortune, a joke. I handed the 200 million bank cards to my assistant and asked her to go to the auction and bid on a necklace for me. The next day, at the press conference for the reconstruction of Jack Thompson's Thompson Group, I attended the banquet wearing this necklace. Just as I appeared, I made a point of caressing the brightest pink diamond on the necklace, which sparkled dazzlingly. Everyone's eyes in the room instantly turned to me, and the whispers around me grew louder and louder. Why is that necklace on Emily Green's neck? Didn't Jack Thompson say before that he would bid on this necklace to propose to his fiancé? Could it be that Jack Thompson's fiancé is Emily Green? No way. On the news of his return, didn't he personally say that he and the Green family had already called off the engagement 5 years ago? Seeing things getting bigger and bigger, Jack Thompson couldn't sit still any longer. He strode towards me, his voice low and filled with anger, whispering in my ear, "Emily Green, are you doing this on purpose? Knowing that I needed this necklace, you had someone bid it away." I raised my glass and took a sip unhurriedly, ignoring Jack Thompson. But the media reporters around us were like sharks that had smelled blood, swarming around Jack Thompson and me. "Ms. Green, is this necklace the one that Mr. Thompson said he was going to use to propose? Now that the necklace is on Ms. Green's neck, does this mean that Mr. Thompson and Ms. Green's marriage is imminent? Ms. White, do you know about this? Mr. Thompson, how are you going to explain this?" Jack Thompson's face was extremely ugly. He kept explaining, struggling with all his might to say that he had nothing to do with me. As for the necklace, it was just an accident. I waited quietly for him to finish, and finally put down my glass and added, "I bid on this necklace myself, but the money was given by someone else, right, Mr. Thompson?" Jack Thompson suddenly looked like he had swallowed a fly, opening his mouth but unable to find an explanation. He gave the money, but he couldn't tell the real reason in between. No matter what I said, he could only accept it. The media reporters also saw the trick, and soon the news about Jack Thompson and me exploded on the internet. Everyone on the internet was certain that the man who gave me the money was Jack Thompson. Although he was unwilling to admit it, he couldn't deny it either. Until the end of the press conference, most of the media reporters and friends had dispersed. Sophia Miller looked at me with resentment, her eyes lingering on the necklace around my neck for a long time. "Emily Green, don't think you can do whatever you want just because you have money. So what if you snatched this necklace? David will never love you. He can never love you in this life. All you can do in this life is make money. You reek of money, no one will like you. I have to admit." Sophia Miller's words still stirred up all the emotions in my heart. I raised my hand and slapped her. Still not satisfied, I was about to strike again when Jack Thompson rushed over and stopped me. He grabbed my right hand tightly, his face gloomy and his tone unkind. "Emily Green, when are you going to stop making trouble? You snatched my necklace, ruined Thompson Group's press conference, and now you've hit Sarah. What exactly do you want to do? Don't think that just because you're the Green family's heiress, I won't dare to do anything to you." He was grabbing my hand harder and harder. Before long, a deep red handprint appeared on my wrist. Sophia Miller, like a little white rabbit, had already thrown herself into his arms, her eyes blurred with tears, sobbing intermittently. It's not Ashley's fault, it's all my fault. I just wanted to say that the necklace she bid on is really beautiful, but Ashley seems to have misunderstood me. It's all because I didn't explain clearly. David, I'm fine. There's no need to make the relationship with the Green family too tense just because you've just returned. I also saw through Sophia Miller's intentions. Wasn't she just stepping on me to increase her weight in Jack Thompson's heart? By the way, she left everyone with a very bad impression of me. Too bad. Did she think that I would care if she did that? In this circle, who doesn't know that besides being rich, all Emily Green has left is a bad temper? The people around were pointing and whispering, but no one dared to come forward. Some people who knew me even shook their heads. I raised my eyebrows, forcefully jacked Thompson's hand, and moved my wrist, which had been grabbed red. I kept smiling on my face, and even the smiling expression in my eyes didn't change at all. I haven't seen you for 5 years, and your courage has indeed grown a lot. If it had been 5 years ago, even if you gave Jack Thompson 100 guts, he wouldn't have dared to grab my wrist. Ike this. He wouldn't have dared to openly go against me like he did today. He was silent. After a long time, he glanced at me coldly before leaving with Sophia Miller. I expected that he wouldn't dare to entangle with me for too long, but I didn't expect that Sophia Miller would do something behind my back. After the press conference, a video quietly went viral. The video started with me slapping Sophia Miller and ended with her pitifully pulling Jack Thompson. It showed me as the villain to the fullest, while she was pitiful, and everyone stood up for her. There were even many people in the comments section who came out to testify, saying that they had all been tortured by me. Although I had already asked people to explain at first that the video had been edited and was incomplete. But it seemed to be too late. My image as a villain had already taken root in everyone's heart. After the video went viral, Sophia Miller also became famous and received many media interviews. Her words implied that she wanted me to apologize. Jack Thompson also took the opportunity to release the first product of Thompson Group after its reconstruction, using his identity as a victim to push the company into the market. For a time, the company's reputation soared, and the company made a lot of money. Only I, alone, bore all the difficulties. I looked at Thompson Group's business evaluation for this period of time, and I have to say that my vision was still very good. 5 years ago, I knew that Jack Thompson would succeed, so I lent him $10 million without hesitation. He lived up to my expectations and returned after succeeding. But after returning, he stood on the opposite side of me, which was equivalent to supporting an enemy. But I could make him succeed, and naturally, I could make him fall into the mud again. After this farce, the Green family's company was also affected a lot. Its reputation declined and was targeted by many competitors. My best friend was still AFR. That I would be sad and upset, so she specially invited me to a bar that night. But when I arrived, I realized that this was like a setup arranged for me. Jack Thompson was also there, drinking and laughing with other people. My best friend smashed her glass on the spot. How could you not tell us that there was such a scumbag here? If we had known, we wouldn't have come. Some friends who knew each other persuaded us to sit down and chat. They were all saying that it was better to settle disputes than to keep them unresolved. Jack Thompson also took the initiative to raise his glass to toast me. He stood in front of me and said, neither humble nor arrogant. Emily Green, the past is in the past. Now that my Thompson Group has successfully gained a foothold, it won't be good for either of our families if we keep fighting. No matter how rich the Green family is, it didn't come from thin air. I didn't say anything, and his face gradually turned ugly. Do you have to fight to the end and end up hurting both of us? The private room suddenly became silent. All that was left was a series of cold laughs from me. If you want to apologize, you have to be sincere, otherwise, shut up. And what about your fiancé? Why don't you let her come out and chat? Or are you afraid that I'll hit her again? I've been cyberbullied for so long, and she hasn't even shown her face. You want to just say it's over with a few words? Jack Thompson's thin lips had already been pursed into a straight line, and he looked at me with a tense expression. Then what exactly do you want? What do I want? I want her to apologize to me online first, and then say that she distorted the facts. As soon as I finished speaking, Jack Thompson refused without hesitation. If he said that, not only would Sophia Miller's image collapse, but even Thompson Group would be implicated. A smile appeared on the corner of my mouth, and I said indifferently, "Then there's nothing to talk about. Let's fight it out." Jack Thompson's face was livid, and he didn't continue to compromise. He knew me. Since we couldn't reach an agreement, we could only fight it out with real swords and guns. After the unpleasant breakup, I began to comprehensively attack the Thompson Group. The next day, I snatched a project from him at a lower price. Then, I snatched the materials he urgently needed at a high price. Jack Thompson was worthy of being a rising star in the business world. Knowing that I wasn't his opponent alone, he gathered many of the Green Group's competitors to launch an attack together. In just 1 month, the entire market was turbulent, and undercurrents were surging. Although I still had the upper hand, the Green Group's assets also suffered serious losses, and its profits were greatly reduced. At the board of directors meeting, I was impeached by many shareholders, saying that I had harmed the group's interests for my selfish desires. Originally, the fact that I had hit Sophia Miller before had already damaged the company's interests. Now they were preparing to remove me from my position and replace me with my younger brother, Tom Green. Unexpectedly, Tom Green was playing with Jack Thompson as soon as he took office. When the assistant brought me the video of them together, I laughed so hard. That night, Jack Thompson invited me to dinner. When I arrived as scheduled, he looked at me with a triumphant look on his face. "Emily Green, so you have this day too. Without the identity of the AI family's leader, what else do you have to be proud of?" "I'm still the chairman of Thompson Group, but what about you? A stray dog?" I leaned back in my chair, crossed my legs, lit a cigarette, and was still aggressive. "So this is the courage you have to collude with Tom Green? Luring my brother to deal with me, lobbying those fence-sitting shareholders to remove me from my position?" Jack Thompson's face changed drastically, and he blurted out, "How did you know?" He had done these things very secretly, and they shouldn't have been spread out. I calmly showed him a video. Jack Thompson's eyes turned red, his hands clenched into fists, and he asked me with pursed lips, "Emily Green, how did you get this? What exactly do you want to do?" I didn't expect him to be so excited. He had completely lost the calmness that a chairman should have. But that's right. Facing the reason for his parents' death, the truth about the Thompson family's bankruptcy, no one could remain calm. So I only played the first 10 seconds of the video and then stopped. I took a puff of my cigarette and blew a cloud of smoke in his face. "Want it? Then let Sophia Miller clarify the facts online first, delete what should be deleted, say what should be said, and then apologize to me. At least let me see your sincerity first." This time, Jack Thompson didn't refuse. He was silent for a long time before saying, "I'll go back and discuss it with her. You know me, this can't be a discussion, it's a must." After saying that, I picked up my bag and left. I knew that he would not give up this video. It was just a matter of Sophia Miller losing face once and then ruining her reputation. He was a qualified businessman, so he naturally knew what to do. Sure enough, in less than 2 days, the rumors about me on the internet suddenly reversed. Sophia Miller recorded a video and apologized on the spot, and there was also an unedited video that was released. Everyone said that Sophia Miller was being cheap and deserved to be beaten. Even if she was crying in the video, she couldn't suppress the resentment of the netizens. The cyberbullying instantly turned from me to her, even more than me. That night, Jack Thompson sent me a message. "Is that enough? You should give me the thing." I glanced at my phone and threw it aside, continuing to drink. I didn't expect him to be so anxious. In a short while, he chased me to the bar where I was drinking. "Emily Green, don't pretend to be deaf and Uta. I've already done what you wanted. What else do you want?" He was breathing heavily, his chest rising and falling. I raised my eyebrows and deliberately knocked over the wine glass in my hand, spilling the deep red wine on his white shirt. "I'm sorry, I'm not very satisfied with your attitude." I gestured at him with the empty wine glass. "Pour me a glass of wine first." He took a deep breath, suppressed his anger, and half squatted in front of me with the red wine bottle. His slightly trembling hands and his eyes that were about to burst into flames were all telling of his forbearance. I took the half-filled glass of red wine and drank it all in one gulp, then stretched out my hand to him again, comfortably enjoying Jack Thompson's service. Until I was dizzy and a little drunk, I asked him, "Jack Thompson, are you really like a dog? Whatever I say, you do?" As soon as I finished speaking, he glared at me fiercely and said through gritted teeth, "Emily Green, don't go too far." I suddenly laughed. "Go too far? I gave you 10 million and waited for you for 5 years. If it wasn't for me 5 years ago, you wouldn't even be able to escape this city. Now that you've returned successfully, you can't wait to cancel our engagement and get engaged to another woman. How can you have the nerve to say that I'm going too far?" Jack Thompson immediately lowered his head, unable to face me. But I wouldn't let him go and continued to mock. "If it wasn't for me, would you have what you have today? Now you'd probably be lying in some back alley, begging." He gritted his teeth, his voice hoarse, and spat out word by word. "Those things are in the past, and you've also taken my money. You can't mention them again." These were all his past black history, and Jack Thompson only wanted to bury them in the ground forever. He didn't want anyone to know about these things, and he didn't want these things to be leaked out. So from the day he made this suggestion, I knew that he and I could only be enemies in this life. We stared at each other for a long time. In the end, he looked away and said, "How can I get the video?" I smiled and told him the last sentence. Jack Thompson left without hesitation. I knew that this man was hooked. In the next few days, I didn't pay attention to Jack Thompson's affairs. I just honestly played the role of a victim and then stimulated Sophia Miller online every day. Then, many netizens said that Sophia Miller was a mistress who interfered in the relationship between Jack Thompson and me. Things got worse and worse. Before long, Sophia Miller couldn't bear it anymore and took the initiative to accept an interview with a media reporter. She cried and cried, saying that I was bullying her with my power, bullying her as a weak woman, and repeatedly said in the interview that she would not give up Jack Thompson. David and I met when we were abroad. At that time, he and Ms. AI had already broken off their engagement, so they had no relationship at all. "We are in free love, and I am not an intruder." As she spoke, she wiped her tears and sobbed constantly. I couldn't help but shake my head when I saw this news, feeling sorry for her. Not long after the news was released, Jack Thompson's cell phone rang. Even through the cell phone, I could feel his angry voice. "Emily Green, what exactly do you want? Sarah has already apologized to you. Why are you still slandering her online? Sarah is not a mistress, nor is she an intruder between us. There's no feelings between us anymore." "Then tell me, did we break off the engagement 5 years ago? And when did you and Sophia Miller get together? Whether there are feelings is up to me, not you, Jack Thompson." As soon as I finished speaking, Jack Thompson didn't explain for a long time. I only heard a heavy sound, probably because he slammed his cell phone hard on the ground. After hanging up the cell phone, there was a piece of news that hit the headlines the next day. Jack K. Thompson cheated and abandoned his lover, and Sophia Miller was a mistress who interfered in other people's marriages. Then, Thompson Group's business was boycotted by many people, and various bad reviews appeared on the internet. Jack Thompson was so busy that he couldn't care about me. At this time, I returned to the Green family estate. As soon as I sat on the sofa in the old house, my younger brother, Tom Green, glanced at me triumphantly and said with a faint smile, "These days, I've been watching my sister's affairs, and they're still making a lot of noise on the internet. It seems that even if my sister loses her job, it would be great to be an influencer online." I didn't say anything, walked slowly and crossed my legs, and then threw a piece of A4 paper from my bag, which was densely covered with words. After Tom Green read it, his face immediately turned ugly. He tore the paper to pieces in one fell swoop. "These are all fake. How could you have these things? Tear it up, anyway. That's just a backup. I have a lot more here." Tom Green was silent for a long time, and suddenly knelt and begged me. "These things can't be made public, otherwise I'll go to jail. You can't do this to me." The contents of the paper were all about Tom Green's illegal and disorderly behavior during this period, and he even embezzled the company's funds. These things were all given to me by Jack Thompson. Only if he and I fought more fiercely would everyone in the Green family believe that Jack Thompson and I were already irreconcilable and that there was no sign of recovery. Then it would be easier for him to get these materials from Tom Green's hands. I kicked Tom Green to the ground, and he crawled over unwillingly, grabbing the hem of my pants. "Sister, you're my sister. You can forgive me." "I'm sorry, you and I are just half-siblings. Strictly speaking, we're enemies." A flash of light flashed across the corner of my eye. Before long, many people from the relevant departments came, and Tom Green was arrested for tax evasion and embezzlement of funds. On the night that Tom Green had an accident, Jack Thompson invited me to meet again. This time, I didn't hesitate and directly sent him the video. There wasn't much content in the video, just a few short sentences. When the Thompson family suddenly had an accident, many people were involved, and even some people in our AI family participated. Even the deaths of Mr. Thompson, David's father, and Mrs. Thompson, David's mother, had the shadow of the Green family behind them. Only he, Jack Thompson, was protected by me, Emily Green. Next, if he wanted to take revenge, he couldn't avoid the Green family. Before leaving, Jack Thompson's eyes were fierce. "Emily Green, I won't let your AI family go." I smiled indifferently. "Come and get me if you have the ability." The news of Tom Green's accident quickly spread all over the internet. My father, Henry Green, who was far away abroad, soon returned to the USA. On the first day after returning to the USA, he asked me to attend the Green Group's shareholders meeting. I usually don't have the opportunity to attend this kind of occasion. This time, he asked me to attend the shareholders meeting because Tom Green had an accident, and because I was most familiar with the Green Group's business. The purpose of today's shareholders meeting is to address the impact of Tom Green's previous scandals on the company and stabilize the company's stock price. Also, it is to formulate the company's next policies and the leader of the Green Group. Tom Green was arrested, and the identity of the leader could only fall on me. But I refused. Throughout the whole process, I kept my head down and didn't say a word. After the meeting, Henry Green asked me, "Why didn't you agree to let you take over the group today?" Henry Green had always beaten and scolded me since I was a child, without much love or affection. If it weren't for the fact that I had been useful to the company all these years, he would have married me off to other groups long ago. I slowly raised my head before replying. "You just kicked me down from that position, and now you want me to sit back on it. What will the company's employees think? And some old immortal shareholders won't agree." Henry Green's eyes swept over me sharply, and he finally said in a tone that didn't allow any resistance, "It better be." After saying that, he slammed the door and left. In the following days, Henry Green cautiously locked me in the basement of the villa. He never believed me. What's more, this time he was even more dissatisfied with me after I rejected his proposal. I hugged my legs and curled up in the corner of the basement. There was only a little bit of faint light here in the entire basement. Thinking about the last time I was locked here was 5 years ago, because I sent Jack Thompson away without permission. I stayed in this dark basement for 6 full days. When I came out, my eyes couldn't adapt to the dazzling sunlight. I could only cover them with a layer of gauze and slowly adapt. But this time, I was released after only 3 days. Jack Thompson acted quickly, even more ruthlessly than I imagined. Henry Green was old, and this time Jack Thompson caught his weakness, and the Green Group was instantly in a precarious state. In desperation, he released me. "Emily Green, haven't you always liked Jack Thompson? Then go and marry him. As long as he lets the AI family go, lets me go, I'll let you be together." Even when he was begging, he still had an arrogant look. I spread my hands. "You don't know, Jack Thompson and I are now at odds, and he already has a girlfriend that he's announced. How can you let me marry him?" Henry Green, ignoring my protests, slapped me hard across the face. "I don't care how you do it, I just want Jack Thompson to stop this attack on the AI group, or you'll never see your mother again." Henry Green was incredibly controlling. He knew he couldn't force me to do anything, so he took my mother away when I was little. His goal was to control me. But Henry Green didn't know that I'd gone crazy years ago. The confirmed diagnosis reports in the cabinet were already a thick stack. When I lose it, I don't recognize anyone. I licked the blood from the corner of my lips. "Fine, I'll go find Jack Thompson." It was late at night when I found Jack Thompson. He was waiting for me on the sofa with the delicate Sophia Miller. His tone was full of sarcasm from the start. Well, if it isn't a distinguished guest from the Green family. I wonder what Ms. Green wants to talk to me about? If you're here to beg for mercy and want me to let the Green Group off the hook, save your breath." I didn't panic. I sat down on the sofa opposite them and lit a cigarette. "My father sent me here to propose a marriage alliance. If you agree, I can give you Green Group shares as my dowry." As soon as I finished speaking, the hand Jack Thompson had raised to usher me out froze in midair. I knew he was already considering it. Like the businessman he was naturally considering how to maximize his profits. Sophia Miller's face changed slightly. She stood up and pointed at me angrily. "Emily Green, you have no shame. You're still trying to seduce David even now." "Yes, I admit that my background isn't as good as yours, but I love David." With that, she turned away tearfully and threw herself into Jack Thompson's arms. Every word she said was heartbreaking. "David, it seems I'm destined not to be with you. You should marry Ashley. That way, you can rightfully take over the AI group, and you'll be able to avenge your family." After Sophia Miller finished speaking, she immediately left. Jack Thompson stared blankly as she fled the villa. After a long while, he finally came back to his senses and said, "Okay, I agree." His voice was hoarse, as if he had suffered a great injustice. Even though I had guessed he would agree, I still felt a strange excitement when I heard the words. How pathetic. Soon, our wedding day arrived. The news of the Green and Thompson family's wedding had been circulating online for days, with many different versions. The media reporters naturally wouldn't miss such a headline and arrived at the wedding venue early to interview Jack Thompson and me. "Mr. Thompson, haven't you already announced a new girlfriend? Why did you suddenly announce a marriage alliance with the Green family?" Ms. Green and Mr. Thompson have been at odds online. Does this marriage alliance indicate that the two companies will be entering a period of cooperation? I kept my head down the whole time, not saying a word. It was Henry Green who started answering the questions with a smile. It's just childish bickering between the kids. Now that the misunderstanding has been resolved, they're naturally entering the halls of marriage. Just as Henry Green finished speaking, an explosive piece of news quietly broke online and quickly went viral. 5 years ago, the AI family drove Jack Thompson's parents to their deaths. Today, Jack Thompson enters the game to avenge his family. No one knew who had released the news. The wedding was instantly filled with murmurs. Jack Thompson and I locked eyes. The anger in his eyes was surging, and there was a hint of suspicion. Emily Green, was it you? Did you do this? I've been here the whole time. Where would I have time to do something like this? As soon as I finished speaking, Henry Green started shouting. He was surrounded by reporters asking him about the situation, and he couldn't take a step to leave. Just then, several police officers walked into the wedding venue and approached Henry Green. Someone reported that you are suspected of participating in illegal fundraising and a car accident 5 years ago. Please come with us. Henry Green was silent for a moment, then quickly glanced at Jack Thompson and me. His body trembled slightly. Why? And he squeezed out a sentence between his teeth. Very well. I've been blinded by you today. You even arranged a trap for me. And you, Emily Green, don't you want to see your mother again? I lowered my head and said calmly, didn't my mother die 5 years ago? Didn't you kill her with your own hands? Henry Green was stunned for a long time. He was soon taken under control by the police. I calmly watched the scene in front of me, without any fear, and even a hint of pleasure. Jack Thompson was still standing there, dumbfounded, even after Henry Green was taken away. I changed out of my wedding dress, preparing to leave. He grabbed my wrist. Emily Green, where are you going? Aren't we going to continue? I couldn't help but sneer. Of course I'm going home. If you want to continue, you can go find someone. Henry Green was taken away. Many people in the AI group were implicated. The next morning, I went to the office. After winning over all the remaining people at the shareholders' meeting, I announced my reappointment as chairman. Jack Thompson came while I was dealing with the documents in my office. He stormed in, slamming his hands on the desk, and raged. Emily Green, so I was just a pawn in your plan. You used me to bring down Tom Green and Henry Green so you could take control of the AI group. Jack Thompson wasn't stupid. He figured it out after just one night. I leaned back in my chair, put my feet on the desk, and exhaled a cloud of cigarette smoke before saying, it's too late to know now. Henry Green and Tom Green are already in jail. I have no more opponents. My voice was light and mocking. Jack Thompson couldn't help but take 2 steps back, almost falling on his butt. Emily Green, so everything you said about liking me was a lie? The video you gave me was fake, too? I found this question very funny. What was the point of asking me if I loved him now? The video I gave him was indeed fake. I had someone make a fake video, but the content of the video was real. 5 years ago, after I learned that the AI family was involved in the plan to bankrupt the Thompson family, I was worried about his safety, so I secretly sent him abroad. He asked me if I loved him. I think I probably did, 5 years ago. But now it's all gone with the wind. Now, in my heart, he's just a stranger. So, after he returned to the country and prepared to break off all ties with me, I prepared this plan. Bring down Tom Green and Henry Green, and bring down Jack Thompson as well. I'm not a saint. I can't let him take my money and succeed, then just walk away scot-free. If I could, I would only let him return to the penniless state he was in 5 years ago. In the following days, I began to control the AI group and comprehensively suppress Jack Thompson. It was like I had eyes everywhere. I knew everything Jack Thompson did. So, this time, in less than 2 months, Jack Thompson couldn't hold on any longer and surrendered to me. When he came to me, he was much more haggard than he had been 2 months ago. His eyes were bruised, and he hadn't even bothered to groom his stubble. He hated me so much that he gnashed his teeth. "Emily Green, you've already taken over the AI group. Why are you still being so aggressive towards me?" As he spoke, he asked me with bloodshot eyes, "And how do you always know exactly what I'm going to do?" After thinking about it, I decided to let him give up. I clapped my hands, and Sophia Miller walked in from outside. She had always been my person. For the past 5 years, she had been with Jack Thompson, monitoring him. I have to admit, I probably inherited Henry Green's genes. A strong desire for control, not allowing anyone to escape my grasp. The moment Jack Thompson saw Sophia Miller, he naturally understood many things. He sat on the ground in despair. "So, all these years, all my actions have been in your sight. Sophia Miller was someone you deliberately arranged to approach me." At first, I let Sophia Miller go to him just to help him, but who knew he would think they were in love? As soon as he returned to the country, he couldn't wait to announce that he was severing all ties with me. Not long after, the GU group went bankrupt again. Jack Thompson was once again burdened with debt. He begged me to let him go, begged me to help him. He even said he would marry me. I coldly replied, "You've said it yourself, no one can stand someone like me. You should find someone else to marry." Later, I never saw Jack Thompson again. I only heard that he was being chased by creditors and running everywhere. But this time, no one would help him anymore.